welcome everyone to this webinar. It's a part of our Inside webinar series, and Michael is our speaker today. I'm Philip. I'm glad to be your host. I'll just help Michael to make sure everything is running, and I collect your questions towards the end. Michael will speak today about the impact of AI generated advertising on human experience, and the focus is on brand experience. So we're looking forward to hear about that, Michael. Michael is our CEO. I don't have to introduce you in detail. So iSquare was founded over 25 years ago now, and Michael was the key person who did that. And so we're excited to hear on um, like to learn about AI generated advertisement. And if you guys in the audience have questions, since you don't see each other, it's not like a seminar here. You can you can use the Q&A feature, Fragen und Antworten in German, and just post them in there so we don't forget them. I'll read them out aloud. If you want to be part of a discussion later on, you just raise your hand and I'll make sure to pull you in. And that's it, Michael. I'll hand over to you.
Yeah, what a pleasure, my dearest Philip. You are certainly amongst the key people who founded iSquare, and you started this wonderful webinar series this year with a wonderful webinar on eye tracking. This will not be so much eye tracking focused, but certainly we can't resist to show you some stuff about attention. So on Ash Wednesday, let me start with this little artwork our data science team just created. Daniel Döringer, head of the data science team, just has done this, I think, very beautiful prediction on the attention of Malevich's famous picture, the Black Cross from 1923. I think it looks wonderful. But as said today, it's more about the impact of AI-generated advertising on human experience with a special focus on brand experience. You could see it certainly a little bit in the broader frame of my talks, how the machine fool us and help us. I do many talks about AI. AI is of utmost importance. Everybody knows this time with a focus on generative AI. You are aware that we also do a lot on predictive AI, and certainly we see ourselves as the mega experts for XAI, which is explainable and inspectable AI, where Berlin is a worldwide center for that. So just a footnote, I will not talk about predictive AI. With predictive AI, we see possibilities and many problems. For instance, if we do predictive AI on Malevich, it's utterly difficult. This would be the outcome of predictive AI on this Malevich picture. This is basically another picture of Malevich with predictive AI. With generative AI, well, I would say we are in a way less critical. Generative AI allows us to, well, to show something, to generate something, and we as iSquare, um, yeah, just we follow that. We follow that with the humans, and we see a lot of possibilities how generative AI could affect the system zero, the system one, the system two, how this might be connected with the system X, which is about, you know, the inner system, and to put it in the big framework of our human experience model, it would fit in somewhere like here. And a basic question Gen AI addresses is the question of attention. Attention is maybe one of the the key constructs of our current time. Some people call our time the attention economy. However you want to have it, attention is very important. We see it as the ability of humans to select one stimulus over the other by a mental integration of system zero, system one, and two to fulfill the desire. So in this media world we are in, where more and more um, things, maybe 20 years ago, they were called informations, try to be perceived. The struggle for attention is a key struggle. You might know from our benchmarks that in average, you don't have a lot of time. This was the older benchmark, 2.5 seconds. Now, the newer analyses show the overall attention is declining. It's now 2.3 seconds. How do we get attention via media? We do, for instance, work with OMD Attention Works. And there, especially OMD, which is a media agency, tries to analyze how could we reach people. Well, we could reach people via the classical channels, TV, but also like online video. In a nutshell, one could say that especially the newer possibilities on streaming are very, very interesting. You also have to pay money for that, which is not our own discipline, but OMD, for instance, tries also to express this, the value of attention in money. And for instance, if you want to address attention on on social media, you have to invest. You have to invest money, considerably big amounts, and this investment seems to be a precondition for every successful communication. That's how attention is, for instance, on Amazon. There are differences in the age. So Facebook users, the younger they are, the faster they are on Facebook. So to put it like that, attention is a big challenge, and everybody is striving for this attention. An interesting question is, how could AI help us on the level of generative AI? For instance, I have a dog now, and I very much love the dog. It's a beautiful collie. His name is Mars, and as you might know, collies or dogs are a little bit difficult to be photographed. So uh, we have a lot of teams here, and our beautiful designers from Create also made up here a bigger study how, for instance, Gen AI might help them to show me. So you could certainly see me here a little bit more Gen AI adjusted, also look good, also less belly, obviously. So you could put a person in Gen AI and help the person maybe to look better, to wear a tie, to have a smartphone in their hand. So that all works well with generative AI. Here you again see me a little bit slimmer, as in reality, all nice. Gen AI offers me to wear various clothes. So that's on the left side. I think I look a little bit like that. My design team, my dearest friend Matthias Kruppner, great designer, sees me more like on the right side, utterly conservative. Maybe he's getting my deeper archetype. I have the collie, and I have these wonderful skirts. It's all working well with Gen AI, and it could create videos The dog is barking. So these are the opportunities of generative AI. Many of the studies you'll see now in the next 15 minutes are not generated by AI, but by our superb colleagues who certainly also use AI to analyze data, for instance, for various other reasons. Biggest credit goes to our dearest Matthias Rotensee. You might see it more often in this little webinar. Now, question is, real or AI generated? Is this photo real or AI generated? At least the reports and the data are more or less generated by this genius, Dr. Matthias Rotensee. We will tackle also into Coca-Cola's new campaign, Real Magic. Before I go into this campaign, I want to show you the data from a magnificent study which was commissioned by Snap in the last year, 2025. It was about Gen AI, augmented reality, and video formats. It was a very, very big study, 7 countries, 15,000, 15K, 15, more than 15,000 respondents. We've done that study for Snap. It was a really big study. Overall, this study totally supports that Gen AI and augmented reality supported lens can play a very, very crucial and a very decisive role in online touch points, in online marketing. We have very good results here. You're going to see these results here on the next slides. So Gen AI had a big impact on aided brand awareness, on brand favorability, on purchase interest, on first choice. So using Gen AI videos on Snap really makes a difference. It fits absolutely well into that. The study was also very, very broad since Snap tried to also understand decisive factors better. A big decisive factor he was also transparency, which impacts trust and perception. For instance, we saw in these studies that the users prefer AI when it is disclosed, so nothing is hidden for them. We had little differences between the countries, but overall disclosing AI seems to be a good idea. And certainly the acceptability of Gen AI is a component of the creative. And one could say that parts of the creations which are more accepted are kind of the ones which are less human. So the more animation-like you are, the more animation style it is, the more it is accepted. This might be connected with this effect called the uncanny valley, which means that if you get too close to humans, then maybe people don't like it that much. And so this was also an outcome of the study. With Snap, we also had a look on how do the marketeers think about it. The marketeers are open-minded. They kind of want to use it. They are concerned with factors like authenticities. They are concerned with that. They want to dig deeper. They want to understand it better. What are the factors here? And so let me now show you a couple of cases which factors affect that. A little review also from the academian world. There's a very, very nice study which is about the appeal types. So one could say an appeal type is that there are brands who are more kind of collectivistic and others are a little bit more agentic, so they want to become better like you. And here, Chen and Wang have done kind of a perfect setup of these different AI-generated agentic approach or the communal appeals. So you have agentic and you have communal, and you could also vary kind of the degree whether that was more a whether you disclose that it is connected with AI or you would not disclose it. In theory, you would expect a 50-50 distribution, but it's not like that. Here it is that in the agentic appeal condition, which is more a little bit about the individual, basically the usage of AI has a better impact than the other way around. And with the communal, it's not like that. So keep in mind just a simple disclosure that it is AI will not only help you, as was said from the beginning. So AI created agentic for these agentic messages become better and less accepted for the emotional messages. That's a learning we have from this study. I also want to show you an academian study which was shown about charitable giving ads, and here you again see the little game. Which image is AI generated? So what would you say? The image on the right or the image on the left? Which is AI generated? Here's the answer. Basically, the image on the left was AI generated, and the image on the right was AI generated. So just to show you that AI generated images are so good that it's really hard to distinguish them. What was in this academian study verified academically is a text about AI generated image. In this special domain, which is about donations, indeed, the disclosure of the AI generation had a negative impact on the empathy and kind of overall decreased the donation interest. So here, the this to show the people that it is, or to tell them that it is AI generated, at the end really decreases something. So be careful. We made also a study on our own with this. The Lacult study. With love for healthy tea. So we have this Lacult commercial again, a little bit the stupid question: is it AI generated or not? What do you think? All AI generated. So that's completely AI generated. What we varied here was just that kind of the disclosure. In the following commercial, you will see people who never existed with artificial intelligence. And how does it affect the results? Well, it affects the results. We have a disclosure and a non-disclosure. Here, German consumers. But the differences between the test groups are again that the kind of the disclosure has a little negative impact, but also not a lot. There is a difference between the recognizers of the AI and the non-recognizers, and here the ones who think it's real human beings might be a little bit better. Okay, hope you don't get too much confused. Now, we now come to the Coca-Cola commercials. So the learnings we had. so far is that Gen AI help is really very, very good. Disclosure of AI in some condition has effects, but also not constant negative effects. Now I want to talk about the real magic about the Coca-Cola spots. Um, I think everybody was talking about these big commercials from Coca-Cola. They are AI generated Christmas spots, and I have also the joy here to show you first time the two analyses of the 2024 and the 2025 spot. We've done consumer studies here in Germany. I want to show you the commercials. First, let's have a look on the Coca-Cola 2024 commercial. We don't have sound. I hope we have sound. Yeah. So you have the iconic sound. Good. This was the 2024 spot, caused a lot of discussions, and I hope I get it right. This might be the 2025 spot. Yep. Here we see the 2025 spot. I also want to already get a little bit better understanding how it is or what they changed. Certainly AI expanded, they integrated learnings. Maybe they integrated the learning of the uncanny valley effect. So you will so not see humans in this spot. Let's have a look how it looks like. And it sounds, sorry, I'll play it again. This is the Coca-Cola 2025. Okay, this is the 2025 spot. Again, we have them next to each other. So think highly discussed commercials. Yeah, let's have a look on the results. First of all, one could say if we take this commercial from the year 2025, well, it's better than bench. It's better than our benchmark. Being better than the benchmark might be interpreted in various ways. You could certainly say maybe it's not just the aim of Coca-Cola to be better than bench, but maybe they want to be, leading with their advertising. So that would mean they are on a different level. Nevertheless, one could say it's to say it very easy. It's not bad advertising. It has some lower sides. Credibility is low. Emotion is low. So they are not better than benchmark. We now go in a little bit more detailed analysis, and now we analyze two spots and compare them with each other. We were surprised the 2025 spot was not better than the 2024 spot. Here again, with many indicators, we see that it's simply not achieving better results. It's not more emotional. People don't say, I like it more. People don't say it's more credible. It doesn't arouse more interest. It doesn't stand out. It doesn't catches the eye. And it's a little bit clear what it is about. So at least here we have an item. But this might be surprising and might not be the clear aim of the Coca-Cola marketing here to kind of excel these things. What's also interesting and in a way astonishing that especially if we compare these between the Gen Z and the 18 to 20-year-old ones, we don't get better results. Again, here, especially in the younger generation, we have a much sharper decline from this year's version to last year's version. The older generation also we don't see that here the spot is getting much better, but it's on a higher level. So it is better in a way, better for the older generation than it is for the younger generation. Overall, again, this highly AI use spot is not better for the younger, it's better for the older generation. So to summarize the results here of the Coca-Cola spot that, well, in a way, just using some of the major recommendations like the uncanny valley effect, not to use people, um, to do this and that, doesn't simply bring it on a higher level than last year's Christmas spot. Many designers, many creatives also are spotting that some elements, especially elements of the trucks, aren't completely consistent. Hard to say how big that is with normal consumers. But we can't see an improvement of the Coca-Cola commercial. Um, and it might be due to the fact that its overall appeal of a Gen AI commercial maybe is not fitting the overall trend very well. And maybe there's even more work to do with Gen AI. So the learnings is certainly the marketeers love AI, Gen AI, and it's great. It's a fantastic tool. Um, I mean, from a human experience perspective, I would say, since human experience is in a way explainable, AI, we don't see kind of the big hype we don't see the mountain that much, so it's not that everything um, we want to address in marketing and in communication, which is about emotion at the end. And emotion, as said, is about to fulfill the desire, is easily to be reached with AI. So maybe it's overhyped. Also, we can't say the other thing. It's also not the abyss as some fear it's not, it's not the end of communication. We rather also see that it has a fair and positive impact. But we are kind of in between. I think you saw many cases. It's also not so easy just with a click to say that's a simple answer. A simple answer is not just to tell the people that it is AI and can help, but mustn't help. A simple answer is also not just to exclude humans from AI generated ad. I think we are in a search process. The tools are there, they help a lot, but certainly it's not a replacement. Real magic, real magic, you can claim, but the question is whether real magic is real, maybe in the sense as it is it used in psychoanalysis as it might be used from Jacques Lacan? So has it to do with intentions? Is it open? Is it here? Or is it back? Does it have a relation? Is it an icon? Gen AI heat maps are certainly very, very beautiful, but what do they reflect? And so I think this is a deeper question. This is a tattoo, which is definitely real. Also, the question here is whether this tattoo itself will always be a great advertising. It's hard to say. So at the end, it stays a cross. It stays an interesting question. I hope it was interesting for you to hear these empirical results on AI.
Thank you very much, Michael. Thank you for taking us through these interesting results. There were already a couple of questions concerning the studies you mentioned, and yeah, we'll get into these. And the one question always also goes into the benchmarks. You mentioned the 2.5 and the 2.3 second benchmark. Are they based on social media, TV, or collection, of results in general? So it's a benchmark question. Let's start with those.
So the Oxford Media Attention Benchmark is a collection of all the media. It combines classical TV, it combines social media, it has everything in one big benchmark. And then if you make a number about the average perception span, then you come up to the 2.3 seconds.
And um, another question that comes from Giorgio is about the difference in acceptance of Gen AI across age groups. Has iSquare ever studied that topic, or can we recommend any of these studies where the generations or age groups are separated?
Yes, so I wanted to show the data with age groups in the Coca-Cola case. In the Coca-Cola case, we definitely saw that the younger the people are, the less positive the impact of Gen AI is. So I would say at the moment it's maybe more interesting for the older ones.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting would be a very big word, but we find, at least in this case, we find better results.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, the Snapchat study, you're also asking where you can find it. What we'll do is we'll make sure to send the studies Michael cited or mentioned in here to all of you in the recap. So our marketing team then will make sure to link them for the participants here, so you don't have to go out and search them yourselves. You could find them on our website in the Insights section or at Snapchat in there where the research team publishes their results too. But we'll make sure to share them with you. There's another question. Okay. So what advice would you give a brand manager, to adopt AI tools for creatives? Like, is it, and the sub question is there risk that all creatives, will look the same, homogenization, and how can a brand, you know, guard guards against that so that it doesn't look like all the other Gen AI um, generated ads? A tricky one.
Very interesting question, very good question. I would say, at least this was my interpretation of the kind of the Coca-Cola getting not better. They look kind of Gen AI-esque. And maybe for them it's really difficult, how to come out of that. I think they're using also proprietary Gen AI tools. And indeed, Gen AI might have tendencies to be fast, quite conventional. Mm. On the other hand, which I find a little bit sad, and I don't have a very clear answer for that, they try to include many major findings in their creative process, for instance, not using humans. But at the end, maybe the kind of their visual cliche is maybe a little bit too AI-esque, and this might be the little problem they are
Hmm.
facing now, and it might not be totally easy to come out of that with Gen
Hmm.
AI.
Maybe it was a good idea not to show humans then in the Coke ad, and maybe in the future when the uncanny valley effect is not as strong anymore, they will do again. But and there was also a hypothesis here from one of the audience: could the 2025 Coca-Cola adverts be not very effective due to the lack of human presence? And could be. There's a lot of animals in there though.
Yeah. Also, it's a good point. Maybe it even was this lack of, maybe it was too cartoonish. I mean, maybe on the other hand, the risk for them to take humans would have also been very
Hmm.
high. So like you gotta have to do risk balancing here.
Yeah, yeah. We also we thought about, going in the Super Bowl ads in your talk as well. And when we looked at them and checked how many actually have human, of course, the
Mhm.
actors and the generated humans, it's an interesting statistics, and a lot of them also used AI or CGI, but the actors were actually still human, especially when they're famous actors. It's obvious that you wouldn't even have the license to generate them. But it's an interesting topic to look at all these ads. And there was another question. Okay, so I'll just read it out. Thank you. I was wondering how people perceive AI ads differently to simpler animated ads, not showing real objects that we know from previous years, such as also in like the older Coke ads, we saw animated animals, bottles, and center. So people perceive AI ads differently now in a way as well. And
This is a very interesting question. I myself was reflecting on exactly the question. I also thought maybe it's less of an generated AI question we have here, but more of the question, how do we work with cartoons? I don't have perfect expert knowledge at the moment. I have to admit. I think we all know that cartoons are there. Some brands use them very well. Certainly, Walt Disney is still there. They have their beautiful characters. So the usage of non-humans is certainly much older than AI. Maybe art starts with that. So interesting question and a very psychological answer. We don't know. Or I don't know. Maybe if you have
that's
more fantasies. Mm.
yeah, that's tricky. There's another benchmark question. if our benchmarks are platform, sensitive, if do we like differentiate between Insta and TV? I think that's the question. Sorry for not reading it out in words.
Mhm,
And yeah,
mhm,
maybe you can answer that.
mhm. Sure, sure. We can certainly benchmark this and that against just this and that media. And the Coca-Cola spot was just benchmarked against other videos. So it was not benchmarked against, all the other things we do that we do in some occasions.
Hmm. And the last question. So when we do these in context research, so this person knows what we do with our in context platform. Thanks. Um, what's the metric that's most revealing, like when you look at AI ads? But I guess I mean we look at ads in general, but AI ads, like which metric would you think, Michael, is most revealing?
Well, I mean, first of all the other matrices are utterly important. Certainly, I think eye tracking is very important. You got to make sure whether you are in the system zero or not. Sure, what we see with AI are that kind of the challenge comes definitely on the SIS-1 level. You saw that with Coca-Cola, which is not perfect on emotions. So still Gen AI is struggling to get emotions. I would definitely recommend emotional measurements. And we saw on the scaling side that classical system 2 scales like credibility are also very important to get the access. So I would say with Gen AI, it's the same thing. Certainly, we need perception, but and especially we need a good emotional assessment. And on the cognitive side, it's the factors I mentioned, which are about trust, more or less.
Mhm. Great. And so we're looking forward to maybe the next webinar to this topic soon, since the evolution is fast. What we want to also remind our guests here is that there will be two webinars coming up in March. I think Frederick and Felix, our colleagues from our FMCG ecom shopper research team, they're the next, and then Jeff from our US team is also speaking in March. We'll send you the updates since we have you on our webinar list now, and thank you for your interest. Michael, you have the honor of closing your webinar.
Thank you so much, dearest Philip. Then I'm closing the webinar. Take care. Bye bye.
Okay, take care, everyone. Bye.